Hello, Christ is in our midst. I'm Father Kevin Long of St. Elias Antiochian Orthodox Church in Newcastle, Pennsylvania. Today is Wednesday, July 30th, 2025, and here are the readings for today.
A reading from the Acts of the Apostles, chapter 15, verses 35 through 41. In those days, Paul and Barnabas remained in Antioch, teaching and preaching the word of the Lord, with many others also. After some days, Paul said to Barnabas, "Come, let us return and visit the brethren in every city where we proclaim the word of the Lord, and see how they are." And Barnabas wanted to take with them John called Mark. But Paul thought it best not to take with them one who had withdrawn from them in Pamphylia, and not gone with them to the work. And there arose a sharp contention, so that they separated from one another. Barnabas took Mark with him and sailed away to Cyprus. But Paul chose Silas and departed, being commended by the brethren to the grace of the Lord. And he went through Syria and Cilicia, strengthening the churches.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to St. Matthew, chapter 16, verses 20 through 24. Let us be attentive. At that time, Jesus strictly charged the disciples to tell no one that he was the Christ. From that time, Jesus began to show his disciples that he must go to Jerusalem and suffer many things from the elders and the chief priests and the scribes, and be killed, and on the third day be raised. And Peter took him and began to rebuke him, saying, "God forbid, Lord, this shall never happen to you." But he turned and said to Peter, "Get behind me, Satan. You are a hindrance to me, for you are not on the side of God, but of men." Then Jesus told his disciples, "If any man would come after me, let him deny himself, and take up his cross, and follow me." Glory to thee, our God. Glory to thee. In today's gospel, we have a very interesting exchange between Peter and Jesus, because Peter just recently was told, "You are Peter," meaning Petros, meaning rock. And upon this rock, our Lord says, "I will build my church." Because Peter gave the right answer when it came to Jesus asking, "Who do people say that I am?" He's not Elias. He's not some other prophet. He is not John the Baptist come back to life. No, he is the Christ, the Son of the living God. And in that confession of faith, which is a confession of faith that all of us should have, our Lord celebrates that by saying that Peter is the cornerstone of the church, along with all of the other apostles. Now, today, though, we have the opposite, because our Lord is trying to tell the disciples, and let's be honest, the disciples have a problem sometimes understanding what Jesus is trying to tell them. They had a problem just recently with the statement of "beware of the leaven of the Pharisees." They were thinking about the miracles of the 5,000 loaves given from the feeding of the 5,000 from the 5 loaves and 2 fish, the feeding of the 4,000 to the 7 loaves and 2 fish. All of this is miraculous, and we have leaven involved in those things. But the leaven that our Lord is talking about is a specific behavior of the Pharisees. Okay, getting carried away. So when we look at today, we see Peter saying that Jesus can't be the one who's going to die. And you can understand why. Because if Peter sees him as the Christ, the Messiah, well, is the Messiah supposed to die in order to overthrow Rome? No, that would not be in keeping with their idea of exactly what the Messiah was. So Peter is speaking with a voice from the outside world, saying things that the rest of the world would say, that Jesus Christ, if he is indeed the Messiah, would be a military general coming and overthrowing the Romans, and maybe even overthrowing the Jewish authorities and imposing a new way of life on everyone. Well, that new way of life indeed is imposed, but it is not through military strategy, unless you want to say that military strategy is death, and going to the realm of the dead and destroying that realm and bringing everyone that was there into life. That is the military campaign that our Lord is going to run. And his death then becomes a necessary part of that whole thing. He can't go there without being amongst the realm of the dead. Now, as God, he can do whatever he wants. But in order to fulfill the expectation of human existence, in order for humanity to be purified as it is supposed to be, he has to die. And so he does. But when Peter says what he says, he is speaking not just as a human, but as a tempter. And that's why Jesus says, "Get behind me, Satan," because Satan is indeed the true tempter. Does Jesus really want to die? No. Is it important that he dies? Absolutely. So when we have that understanding, we can come to terms with the fact that Peter is speaking with a voice that tempts our Lord, if there is such a thing, into just denying the possibility that somehow death was inevitable. And so our Lord finally, at the end, reminds Peter that, and the rest of the disciples, that his cross is central not just to his own existence, but to ours as well. He says that any man would come after me, let him deny himself, take up his cross, and follow me. This is indeed our calling. Yes, indeed, our high calling. And when we are able to live into that, then we are able to follow Christ in all fullness of intention and purpose, and ultimately towards our salvation with our Lord and all those who are faithful who come before him. So thank you very much for taking the time to listen to this video. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the section below. And God bless you and grant you long days. And God willing, we'll see you tomorrow.